bird on a tree. I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We're meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
Oi! Here. So obedient. Sit. Go! Go! Go get him! So here we are, in the middle of the woods. I have the use. I can use it as and when I want and do as I please, which is a bonus. Because that's one of the hardest things with wild camping, is trying to find someone that will allow you to use the land. There's a couple of things I wanted to show you. This rucksack, you've probably all heard of Berghaus, but this is the Berghaus Cyclops Vulcan 2. And also, I'm going to show you this. Wow. I am in no way sponsored by these guys at all, but if it will focus, hang on, sorry, there we go. This is the original Outback stove. It's called the Firebox. I've also got a tent protector on the top, but I'm going to set that up. Oh, yeah. I've got a Polish Lavvu. There we go. I have a Polish Lavvu, which I've not used this stove in the Lavvu before, so I'm going to set it all up and see if I can somehow get this stove to work with that tent. Normally use this in a Robin's teepee tent. Works amazing. There's a few bits to do with the stove which I wanted to have a chat with you guys about. One, if you've already got one of these stoves, and two, if you're thinking of buying one, maybe a little tip may find it useful. There he is. Come on in. Come on. Here. Come here. Wow, you're a good boy. Oi. And this is little Arthur. Who's that? Who's that? Who is it? He's a working Cocker Spaniel, and I've had him for just under 2 years now. He was a rescue dog. He was a bit mistreated, but he's my little companion now. And yeah, I will get set up once I'm set, and I'll run you through how I've put everything together and how it all works. So this is the Polish Lavvu. These are the poles and pegs that comes with it. So this is it set up, and that honestly took me no longer than 5 minutes, and that's exaggerating. These are surprisingly easy to put up. Right, when you're first putting it together, sorry, hang on. I find it a lot easier if these grommet eyelets here at the bottom, if you put the two together, then when you do the rest of the perimeter of the teepee, you'll find that if you pull them a bit too far out, that this doorway won't meet. It'll end up being somewhere like this, which, okay, it's good for ventilation, but no good if there's a really cold breeze. So if you put these two together first, you can pull it as tight as you want in every direction, and you know that this, well, should be able to button up again. But I will be making some mods to this poncho. I'm going to be putting a different skirt around the bottom to lift it off the floor slightly. I'm going to be stitching zips on here and on the other side. I am losing light quick. So next thing I want to show you is try and get this stove installed. So, the stove itself is going to be coming through this arm. This is what would be the sleeve of the poncho. You can undo the buttons. Oh. So the actual stove tent protector is going to come through here. And this is the stove. This is the carry case it comes in. The tent protector you have to buy separately, but it comes, the actual stove itself, I'll go on to this in a second. So stove itself, in all honesty, it could probably do with a slightly more hardware in case. Dog's decided to do a runner. He's alright, we come to this woodland all the time, he just goes off, let him do his own thing. When he gets thirsty and wants a snack, he'll be back. He knows where the dog biscuits are. So, let's crack on. It's got these two cinch buckles on the top, which are quite, once these are up you can obviously tension it to lock it all together. I'm not sure what type of zip they've used on it, but it seems good enough. So I've had this stove for just under 3 months now, and I've used it probably 20 times. I've been out for about 6 weeks every weekend going now. Can't get enough of it. I love winter camping. So if you're thinking about getting one of these stoves, then I can guarantee you that they work really, really well. Really well. And here it is. Also, I bring this with me. It's a fire blanket, which I'll actually put the stove on top of this. In my other tent has got a ground sheet, so this just prevents any sparks from, if you have the door open when you're first starting the fire, if anything does spit or pop out, then it won't ruin the tarp. I think I can hear the dog. There he is! Oh look, here he is. Come on, what are you doing? Where you been? Come here, here. Come here. No, you don't want that. Oh, you're soaked. Where you been? You been in the stream? Go ahead. Go on. Good boy. Go and have some fun. Lay this out on the floor. I know I'm not going to set fire to wet leaves, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. So, wait there. Right. That's the blanket, fire blanket in. As you can see on the front of the stove here, you've got this nice glass window that's good because it gives a bit of ambient lighting inside your teepee. It's got this air vent on the front here, which is nice. Everything is solid, and I really mean solid. It is so well built. You've got a small rise here, which is for the for the flue pipes. They slide on the top, which I'll show you in a second. You've also got this plate on the top here, which is a cool thing, this comes off. So you can actually place your kettle or your frying pan above this ring, and then the flames will actually lick the bottom of the pan, which is good. But this does get so hot, I normally just cook on the top. But with these, you don't have to worry. Once it's lit, you can chill out. You haven't got to, you can just rest the fill the billy can up, fill the kettle up, and just leave it on there. Just leave it boiling. So moving on, we've got this handle here. It's got a lovely, so you lift the handle, door, and then also you've got a little catch here on the front. And then inside, so inside the stove is where you store all the flue pipe sections. They are probably, I don't know, 12 inches, about 12 inches long by 2 and a bit inches wide. So all the stove sections you can store in here. I'm going to put my gloves on because, as you can imagine, after using it a few times, you do get soot and ash and bits inside. So bear with me. There you go. Right. Get the flue sections out. This is the tray that comes in the bottom, which collects the ash. That slides in the bottom. Door closed. Right, let's start putting some sections together and get it in the actual teepee. In goes the stove. Sorry, that's a bit bright. Yes, I'm not sure how many sections I'm going to use, as this is the first time I've set it up. I think I might have to pull this peg out slightly. There we go. And also this one.
Meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. Sometimes you need to go and take a step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell. You and me were meant to be in the great outdoors.
You can use a wood burning stove, especially the outbacker firebox, in a Polish Lavvu or a Robin's teepee. So let's see if I can get these. These buttons are a bit fiddly, so if you are going to use one of these in the winter, I would strongly recommend doing all the buttons that need to be done up when you're at home, because if your hands, I suffer really bad with cold hands, and if your hands are cold, then these I'm not going to lie, are really awkward to do up. So, sorry if it seems a bit echoey, but as you can see we're inside the tent now. So what I like to do to start the fire is make one of these a feather stick. So you basically get your piece of timber and shave just as many shavings as you can. And then a few really fine twig bits, sort of thin bits, sort of pencil thickness, and a load of birch bark. It's very high in sort of natural oils, and it burns amazing even when it's wet. So to start with, open your stove up, get your lighter, see how it goes up. It goes up so quick. And you just chuck it in. I've got some more here, so that's your birch bark in there. Just leave it to do its thing. I mean, this stuff here is a little damp, so... Oh, phone call. No rush. And then take your feather stick. So then that's lit. Close the door, open the air vent, and just let it do its thing. Just a bit of safety for you. I always keep a carbon monoxide alarm next to my head when I sleep, especially with any wood burning stove, even camp, like little gas cooking stoves. They still give off carbon monoxide, so you've got to be really careful. Also a knife. The last thing you want to do in the middle of the night is that alarm start blaring out and pitch black, can't find your head torch, can't find the buttons on the Lavvu tent, TP, wherever, whatever. So I keep a knife next to me as well, because if that alarm goes off, I'm gone. I am getting out, and for the price of 50 quid for another Lavvu, I'd rather live. I'm having to film this on my phone. Unfortunately, the battery on my DSLR has died. The stove is burning so efficiently. It's brilliant. One thing I would suggest, if anybody's got one of these, is this air vent on the bottom here. So if I open it up, you can really pick it up inside there. So there's the fire inside, and that little bit there, little line, that's the ash tray or the coal catcher or whatever you want to call it. If that fills up with ash, it basically stops air from going in underneath the sort of grill, and stops the air from coming up and then obviously out the flue pipe. So I would keep an eye on that if you're burning it if you are burning it for a long period of time. Oh, I've got to turn that down, that is ridiculously hot. Oh. But yeah, that's one tip I would say, is just keep an eye on it, because it does block up and then you won't get the right draw on your flue pipe. Right, next thing. She's roaring away. So the tent protector is cold. It's not cold, it's mildly warm. But the heat, I daren't touch this, because that is, you can feel the heat really kicking off of there. In fact, I might, which is the good thing with this, is this air vent here. If I just close that down a bit. Just wanted to say a few few words. One is thank you for watching. Really appreciate anyone who watches the videos. If you could leave some comments, even if you're going to leave nasty comments, I'm not interested. I just block you. It's not. There's enough bad crap going on in the world, let alone people who decide to badmouth other people for no reason. Yes, I understand I'm not the best at making videos and getting the right angles, but I've only been on YouTube for a year and I've made maybe 6 videos. I'm going to be making more as now I've found my feet and what sort of things I want to do and film, and I'm going to be travelling as well a bit. Not travelling as such, but doing some trips overseas instead of keep coming to the same old places all the time. And that's going to be, well, on the 8th of March I'm going to be heading over to Sweden, which should be good. That's me and 2 buddies. We're going to do a 4 maybe 5 day sort of backpacking, hiking, wild camping trip, so stick around for that. Just opening the air vent at the minute, so get it going again. But I can feel, even with this door, this massive opening, the heat up in the top of the teepee is like probably getting close to 20 degrees. Outside it's probably, I don't know, it's not freezing. There's not really any need for this stove with the sleeping bag and sleep system that I've got, but I wanted to see if it will work in this Lavvu. I mean, if I spin you round, so this tent protector as well, this also came from outbacker stoves. Just going to close it down a bit. It's getting, not because of this is getting hot, because the air inside is getting ridiculous. And it is getting pretty dark outside. So I'm going to go and get some more firewood. I shouldn't look at this window up here, I should be looking in the lens here. Look here, here. Yes, I'm going to go and get some more firewood. I'm going to have a nice outside fire. Well, no, I won't need to set the tarp up anywhere. It's a clear night. Put that down, get my roll mat. I've got a wool blanket and a sleeping bag with me, so I am going to be cosy. And with this thing going, it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be a good night's sleep, really good night's sleep. But like I was saying before, guys, I haven't been given this stove. Purely, I just can't seem to find that many videos of people in the UK using wood burning stoves in hot tents. Okay, yes, it only goes, like, the coldest it probably goes in southern England, where I'm from, is probably -3 and that's Celsius. So maybe people don't think there's a use for them, but it makes it so much more comfortable. Okay, it's a lot of weight to bring in. The stove itself weighs, with the flue pipes, it's a little bit over 9 kilos, so it's quite weighty. It's not, you couldn't take it backpacking, or you could take it backpacking, but you'd have to stop a fair few times to put it down and rest your arms. You have to pay for the tent protector separately. People use these stoves in a whole variety of places. I've seen someone use them, put one in a van, a camper van. You have them in log cabins, in sheds, allotments, teepees. It's a huge range of what you can do with these things, and they are strong. Maybe for what I need it for, maybe it could do with being just a little bit, even if you could have one half the size. It hasn't got to be so when I go out and it's say -3, -4, it hasn't got to heat the tent up, or the teepee or Lavvu up to 25-30 degrees where I can sit in there in just my pants. I'm not, but just take that sort of chill. If you can take the chill out of the air, that would be really decent. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to stop waffling. I'm going to go and get some more wood, get a fire going outside and cook up some sausages. So, sausages.
Meant to be in the great outdoors.
Now, isn't that just the best TV ever? I watch that